Yeah. It's like, yeah, something like that.
What's up, people? This is Dan from guitarfromtheheart.com, and today I wanted to talk about how you can memorize an entire instrumental, how I've approached it in the past and successfully done it. Let's talk about that today. So, it's kind of a noisy day out here. Apologize for that, but I'm going to do my best as I try to get more content out to you guys. I'm experimenting with different formats to try to get more done. Anyway, so how do you memorize an entire instrumental song? How do you go about doing that? It's not easy. But whether you want to memorize an instrumental song or any song in general, the same principle applies. Somebody's cleaning down there, making mad noise. Yeah, but whether you want to memorize an instrumental, which is a lot of notes, or you want to memorize a whole song, you want to use what I refer to as the building up method, which is building up approach, whatever you want to call it. If you can kind of visualize, you know, like those things that they sell, you can make like your own necklace, like beads on a string, you can add a bead. That's the way I look at it. You memorize one part, and then you add a bead, which is the next part. So like in an instrumental, you want to learn the stuff one note at a time. So you learn the first note, right? This is not rocket science. Learn the first note, memorize it. Add one bead to the string. Now you have two notes. Continue the process until you have all of them. And what I do is I divide the song into different sections. So like you might have like the whatever the first section is, and you memorize all the beads on a string, and then once you have that section, now you have a chunk, you put that away and you got it. Now, one thing that I want to say with regards to this is that there are a couple of phases to memorizing anything, to learning anything. You have the transcribing phase, and then you have the memorizing phase. Transcribing is its own thing, but memorizing this is the approach you want to ideally take. Beads on a string. The thing is, if you're anything like me, you probably are too ambitious and you want to memorize a whole song all at once. The thing is, we're not really wired that way, at least not most of us. And it's a better approach to memorize a little bit and memorize it right than to try to memorize too much. And what you end up is with a cockeyed version of the song. Like you play, you know, you're one of those guys. You play the song kind of like how it's supposed to be, but with some notes that often just sound stupid, right? It's not the song. Let's go into the studio and take a look at some examples of what I'm actually talking about here. See you over there.
And we're recording. Oh yeah, baby. All right, guys, here we are in the studio. This is the second time I had to do this video because of audio problems. What I wanted to do is go back and show you an instrumental song that I made in the past about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and try to dissect it and to go through this process of finding one note at a time and adding beads to the string so that we can basically put it together, create different sections, and figure out how to play this thing. All right, so I'm gonna open up this old song. Let's find the I had made this song. It's an instrumental. Let's listen to it a little bit in the beginning here. Okay, so up until that part, I would consider where I did the phrase twice as like, you know, the first section, the first verse. So what we're going to do is go back to the beginning and we're going to learn one note at a time and add them one after another while making sure that we actually have the notes right. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first piece is easy. Let's find that note. Actually, let's try to use our ears and find it. So that's kind of like how I phrase it. Right? Nice use of vibrato there. So all together, the second note was looks like I hit that note and slid down. So all together. Right, something like that. Just getting that, using the vibrato to really sustain that note out. So easy enough. This is where the verse kind of sort of starts, because if you listen to the background chords, chord progression is starting over there again. So this is the first verse, if you will. So boom, 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 boom. Right, let's find that. So repeat it. Boom, boom, boom. So we gotta go down, right? Boom. There it is. Boom, boom. Right? So then it's a boom, boom again. So what I would do, excuse me, that's not what I would do, choking on my spit. Now, if I was really trying to learn an instrumental song from someone else, this is the process I would go through. Basically, because of YouTube and how the copyright thing is and all that, I really don't want to like cover other people's material and show how to actually do other people's songs. I'm showing the process that I've used in the past to memorize other people's instrumental songs, and I'm just going through one of my own for the same purpose, because once you understand this process, you can apply it to anything you want to learn. And even if it's not lead guitar, even if it's like a riff or whatever, say, you know, whatever, like, so like a chord progression like that, you would listen to it and find what the first chord in a riff is, and then, you know, listen to it and get the rhythm, and then once you've pieced it together, you got that part of the song down, and then you could go to whenever the background chords change and it's a new section, you learn that section by itself. And once you've got each section down, you can piece them together to create the whole composition. And this is how you go about learning any song, even with other instruments, you know? So anyway, so let's see if we could piece together what we've listened to so far. Let's go from the beginning. This is me from 2 years ago. playing along, seeing if it matches. So far, so good. So the second time around, right? Ba, 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 da. So all together, let's see if we can remember. I'm listening to the background chords in my head. And to be fair, you know, this is something I wrote a while back, but I've listened to it plenty of times, so I kind of sort of have it memorized how it goes. You would go through the process one note at a time, but if it's a song that you love, you probably know the main melody just like this, and you can sound it out. But the key here is to make sure you don't move forward until you know that each note you're playing is right and that you're playing it exactly the right way. Let me go to another part of the song that I definitely don't know by heart because it's an instrumental and it'll get harder and harder as we go. That's where your ear skills and your ability to transcribe start to really come in. But that's a whole other animal, as I've said before. Let's go farther along and see if we can find something that's a little more challenging. Let's start at the beginning because you want to memorize in chunks, right? Let's find the start of a section. That sounds like the chord progression is turning around, like starting over there, new chord progression. So let's try to find the notes here. Let's find that first note. I think it's this one. All right, so it's 15th fret of E string. Looks like I did a bent up to it. So I got that. Let's see if we can find the next note, right? As you get better and better, you'll be able to like listen for 2-3 notes at a time, which is what I'm kind of doing here. In the beginning, when I first started doing this, believe me, it wasn't so easy. I would have to go one note at a time, and half the times I would fail and need to find tabs and stuff to confirm that I was doing it right, which if you're going to do tabs, you probably want to use official tabs. Hold a second, phone call. Okay, bye. When the wifey calls, you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, what was I saying? So as you get better and better, you'll be able to add more and more notes. Let's take a look here. So it looks like I did like a... That's what we know so far. We're sure of that. Let's add the next part. That's what it looks like I did there. Let's check it out. Yeah, definitely. Right? But I did some stuff right after that. Let's figure that part out now. Adding those beads to the string. So I did that again. Right? Something like that. Like a bendy thing there. I think I did a bend up and then back down. Something like that. I mean, the exact notes might not really matter. It depends. Like here, you could go with that idea and, make your own version of it. But, which is definitely cool, and I highly recommend when you're recovering other people's stuff, that if you're one of those guys like how I was when I started, you absolutely positively must know every note just for how it actually is, then do that. But after you've learned it note for note, then start to add your own seasoning in there, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But let's listen to this again. By the way, you can slow stuff down and listen back to it there. If it's too fast, you can listen to it slower. And that's a whole art form of itself, but I will save that for another day. Something like that. So basically, something like that, right? So I'm just basically playing with those notes there. Sometimes hammering on, sometimes bending up and down, and then playing the note on the B string. And it looks like at one point I did a. Then I did a bend up there. Yeah. It's like. You get away from the mic. Yeah, something like that. So guys, that's the process that I'll go through. Easy sections, hard sections, same thing. Just add one note at a time. Take your time. Be patient. It will come. Just don't rush your way through it. It'll come along.
So basically, very simple concept for today. Pretty much you add one bead to the string at a time. Once you have a whole set of beads, you put away that necklace. You start to take the next necklace, which is the next section of the song, and you add one beat at a time. Take a patient approach to it, and it becomes where after a while you don't even have to think about it anymore. You can just play the song. Alright, so that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Play the guitar from the heart and have fun with that. I'll see you next time.